Big Mac here dropped the biggest 40K news story since Magnus. Let's go! All right. For those of you who don't know how this works, I get the stream going up like this, and then I gotta share the link of the doohickey with everybody. Give everybody a second to join. But yeah, it's gonna get wild up in here tonight. Surprise stream, celebration. It's going crazy. This has been the biggest day ever, and that is no lie. All right, let's get this done up here. Pow. All right. Got that going. Schnatz in the dark. How you doing? Burton Denali. Hello. Sentry Knuckle. Wah! Jojo. Hello. Adam Pratt. Walk on. What'd you guys think? Did you see it go down live today? Did you see it happen? It was so good. Oh, I'm still in shock that it even happened. Gork or Mork totally smiled down upon all of Orkdom today. It's been good eating, fellas. It's been good eating. All right, let's see if that works. Yeah, let's go. All right. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. Hoovy Bear. Oh, you watched it live? Nice. Yes, Jojo, the yellow t-shirt. This is the more DACA shirt. This one is the 2D style, and it's 2D because like you see the colors like on the skin and stuff is all like a single color. We also have a 3D version, which I can grab for you. Just that. So here's the 3D version. Kind of hold them up side by side here. You see the oh, come on, stay there. You see the differences. So the 3D version, we've got like highlights and shading, and then like the cool stuff there in the lettering and whatnot. This is more of like a cartoony impact style. So it kind of depends on like what look you're going for. The artist BenBam and I liked them both so much we literally couldn't decide. So I was like, we just make both. So we made both. The 2D style is available in like all the really super bright colors, and the 3D style has kind of more of these grim darky colors. But yeah, you get them t-shirts, hoodies, all that good stuff. We're not here to talk about the shirts. We're here to talk about the Warboss. We're here to talk about the Warboss. Let's go. Spin Top Scuds. Yes, there is a brand spanking new Warboss, and we're the ones that leaked it. It is not in the 11th edition launch box. So let's talk about it. Yes, Jeremy Allen's the backpedaling was just fantastic. I can't, it was so funny. So for those of you that don't know, for those of you that weren't watching live, didn't know what was happening or going down, what happened was a sneaky little purple squig found this box, legit found this box. And he sent the photos to me and went, hey, is this what I think it is? And I'm looking at these photos and looking at these photos, and I'm like, this is not AI. This is not Photoshop. This is way too good. All the tears on the box, like lined up front to back. All of the writing on the box is correct. But more importantly, deep dive stuff, right? When you're actually investigating things, ran the barcode. The barcode is registered to Games Workshop, but is not currently active. Barcodes have a meaning. They actually, like when you scan them, they do something. So finding out that somebody managed to get their hands on a legit GW barcode that wasn't assigned to anything, that's hardcore, right? And then just all the little like copyright, trademark stuff on it, all the little legalese stuff, all was perfect. And it was like, no, this is legit. This is the real thing. We've got ourselves the new Warboss. So what did I do? I blasted it to the internet because that's what you do, right? I'm a hype man. We're hyping it up because I've been saying for almost a year now that Orks are the antagonists in 11th edition. I know Valorac's been saying it too, but like we've been looking at other things than him. I don't have rumors. I don't have people tell me things until this here purple orc, purple squig, I should say. But just looking at other things. So, the sales data that Games Workshop does publish in their annual reports, the way that they do their marketing, the way that the armies came out in the edition prior, in 10th edition. So, for example, Drukhari were at the very end. They're obviously not going to make Drukhari the launch box when they're the nearly the last codex in 10th edition. It just doesn't happen that way, right? So just we were talking about all this stuff, and then all of these things kept happening with the games, right? With Dawn of War 4, with Total War 40k, like all of the Ork books coming out, like just everything is pointing toward Orks being the big bads in 11th edition, and the paint scheme changing to the yellow bad moons, right? So here I am. I'm looking at this box. I'm going, this is legit. We're posting it up there. I make a video on it, get that posted up. I throw the photos up on Reddit and on Facebook. And oh, the copium. The copium, the people, oh, it's AI. If you look at the axe handle, it's a slightly wavy, and the Grot's nose has one nostril bigger than the other, and I can't see the trigger finger on the orc. They had the dumbest thing. It didn't matter what you pointed out. And you're like, look, man, I've got the front and the back. All of the tears line up between the two. The picture from the front is repeated on the little side panel, right? The pose, like you could tell that the whole arm swaps out, but the actual like side of his tunic with the little stitching was literally identical. And then on his legs, he's got this armor panel on one side that was absolutely identical. Like you could tell that it's the same base kit that made both versions, and it's just parts swapped out. And no one's gonna go take the time to Photoshop that, right? They're just not. If you're gonna Photoshop something, Photoshop the whole 11th edition launch box or something. So my purple squig friend goes, well, here, let me just give you more photos. I still have the box. I'm holding it. So he sends me all these photos and I post them up everywhere going, here's the top, here's the left side, here's the right side. Oh, yeah, here's the bottom because it's completely ripped off because the squig ate it and ate all the contents of it. But we had this box. It is totally legit. While this is going on, Auspex Tactics picks it up. He starts running a video, doesn't mention me at all. And I posted on the social medias with my, old Big Mac to Red Ones Go Fasta accounts, right? Like they're clearly tied to my channel. They're clearly tied to me. Like it's not just anonymous posting. And yeah, like nobody's calling it out, but it's okay. You awesome Mac boys, you came to the rescue, threw it all in the comments. He finally listened. He responded to me. We've actually chatted back and forth, and Auspex Tactics, when he does his video on the actual Warhammer community article for the Warboss, is going to be pumping us. So let's go, right? The biggest Warhammer channel on all of YouTube is now going to be going. Thank you to the Red Ones Go Fasta and our purple squig friend, who I just want to say wants to remain kind of low key and under the radar. So if you're one of the people in the know, keep that on the down low. Protect our purple squig friend. All right, let old Big Mac take all the heat for this. Games Workshop can come up here all they want. I'll give them what for. Send the Pinkertons in. CJ, dude, have you been living under a rock? What did you miss? What did you miss? Oh, let me show you what you missed. Hold on. Let me get it up here. All right. Okay. Just so you guys know, Dirt Hermit in the last live stream was complaining about the mid-roll things. I can't turn it off, but I can make it where I can toggle. So I'm going to toggle an ad right now while I get the screen up. Give it just a second. We'll be right back. Let's see. Do that. And then while you guys are watching that, I'm gonna share screen, because again, this is a great time to do it while I'm trying to get this screen up. That one right there. Give a sec. Yep, that's the one. All right, cool. We are sharing. Hopefully by now your ad is over. Let me check on another end. I can log in to watch on my personal YouTube while I've got this up, and we'll see if the ad is gone. Okay, good. The ad is gone. Perfect. Okay, you guys, all right. You can see it up on the screen. Perfect. So, boop, boop, doo, boo. Check this out. Here it is, the article. Breaking news. Ork in the Wild, brought to you by Old Big Mech and our red ones go fast. And our purple squid friend, again, who wants to remain on the DL. All right. So, breaking news, Ork in the Wild. It says, you may have seen a grainy potato can picture of the new Ork Warboss box. No, you saw high resolution 8K Ultra HD, 10 different images of said Warboss box. Thank you very much. That looks like it's been half chewed by a squig. Okay, that part's true. Again, the purple squig, he grabbed it, he ate all the contents out of it, he kind of blurched the box back out. You know, it's all good. It's all good. So, anyways, it says we thought you deserved better than that. So here it is in all its glory. Bammo! Look at this guy. Okay, like true facts outside of like all the hype of releasing it. I really like this sculpt. First of all, he's on a 50 millimeter base, just like our friend Uftak Blackhawk. Okay, so he is a massive boy. He has got some chunk and some heft. Okay. Second, look at that power claw. That power claw is rad. It looks so mean and so like not like just scrapped together, but like in this really malevolent way. I just love it. Right? It's so good. Yeah, so he's got the big power claw. Look at the head. Right prop ahead. He's got a big old gob on the bottom of him there. He's got the long face, the short little eyes and forehead, great big old helmet, huge horns, fantastic face. Not to mention, if you look at the size of his head versus the grot, right? His head is like the size of the grot. So I know that it kind of looks small, but that's just because his body has so much beef. It is not a small head. That is a big head. That is a proper war boss head. Then you've got the armor plating on the knees, the thighs, the like the WWE style belt, right, with the little metal spikes, and then on the tunic he's got the crossed leather bandoliers, big old shoulder pads. Now check this out. If you look at his boss pole real close, right here, you see that kind of piece behind it that kind of goes like this? That is a flag. We're going back to having flags on our boss poles, the way Gork and Mork intended. All right? That's cool. That is super cool. So we got the flag on there, got the big fist. He's looking great. Ooh, look at the scar on his face. I missed that. Look at that. He's got this scar coming down like that. Yeah, he's proper. He is right proper. Now, this shooter is old school. This is exactly like the shooters we used to get with the Orks all the way back. Rogue Trader days, second edition days. That thing is rad, and it's a combi weapon. We're gonna get to more of that in a second here. Notice it's got the little combat knife on it. It's got a couple of rockets on it. It's got the DACA, looking great. And then we get to here. Then we get to our boy. This has got to be model of the year already. I mean, look at how choice this grot is. Do you see it? He is so good. First of all, he's got the bandolier, right? With all the shells in it. He's carrying a backpack full of ammo and a satchel full of ammo. He's got his little grot shooter, and then he's still holding like a grot carbine or something, man. And he's got like a grot gob. He is immediately the leader of my new all grot army. Period. This guy cooks. He is awesome. I absolutely love that sculpt. So, yes, that is absolutely amazing. There we go. So, keep going on the article. It says, what's that? A multi-part plastic Ork Warboss? You bet it is. Now, this is important because Games Workshop didn't show the box, photo that we had. This is not the Warboss that's going to be in the 11th edition launch box. Again, let me repeat for those of you not getting it the first time. This is not the Warboss that will be in the 11th edition launch box because he is a multi-part kit. For those of you that are unaware, other than the 3rd edition starter, every single starter that's ever been made has been push fit style kits that have limited to no options. All of them without fail. The whole point of a launch box is to get people into 40K. So it is drastically reduced compared to the price of all other kits. Part of the way Games Workshop does that is one, it is kind of not necessarily a loss leader. They definitely make profit on it, but their profit margin is much tighter than regular kits. And the reason why they can get away with that is doing the monopose push fit style, more simpler kits is a lot easier to mold. When you actually cut the molds out of the metal, it is way cheaper, way easier to do it that way. So they could pack a lot more plastic in the box for a certain price. So because of that, you just do not get multi-part kits. At most, you might get like a gun swap or two. I think the Necron Warriors a couple of editions ago had like two different guns that they could do. But I mean, that's it. You're not getting characters to have all these different options. I mean, all you have to do is go pick up your Leviathan box and look at it, right? That Gravis Apothecary, 0 options. The Terminator Librarian, 0 options. The Terminator Captain, I think the Terminator Captain had a head option. You could either have the helmet head or the bear head. That was it. Like there was no other options on that. Okay. You're not getting this. This is a multi-part plastic kit. So moving on, not to mention he's in a separate box. All the stuff that's in the launch box is only going to be in the launch boxes for quite a while. Because again, after the Armageddon box, then you're going to get the like the ultimate starter set and the regular starter set and the combat patrol and all that. Okay, so moving on. This is the first time that an Ork Warboss has come as a multi-part plastic kit, and all the classic options are represented. I had to think about that for a second, and they are absolutely right. All the war bosses prior to 3rd edition were metal, okay? And metal, even though they're multi-part kits, and you can kind of convert them and stuff, kit bash them, they're not designed for it, right? You are like you're on your own. The kit you buy only comes with the one setup. The first plastic war boss wasn't until 5th edition with Assault on Blackreach. The old classic, he's got the power claw out straight like that, and the gun, the DACA gun got out like that. Who's still in my army to this day, almost 20 years later, right? He was the first plastic one, and he was not multi-pose or multi-part. And then we got Gruk Face Rippa. Now, Gruk Face Rippa was actually supposed to be a special character. And he actually had 2 releases. There was a metal one where he had his arm out and the squig on top of it. And that's the squig that this squig is calling back to. And then we've got the new version that's out now that's plastic where the squig is on the ground. Both of those are single build. They are mono build kits. There's no options. That's it. That's all the war bosses. So regular old war boss on foot in regular armor. We've never had a multi-part plastic kit. So this is amazing. You get your pick of Choppa or Power Claw, the Dacatastic Combi Shooter, and then the optional attack squig. Though we all know there's no option at all. Of course, you're picking the squig. Yo, thank you, James Marshall, for that donation. Much appreciated. Much appreciated. Yes, pointed out on Val Extreme, Mirror Sculpt of Huron Sculpt. This sculpt is pretty much standard 40K hero at this point. In fact, it looks, where did that go? Give me a second. Path of Command. This is the Eldari dude. And look at his sculpt, right? Like that is the same setup. He's got one leg up on the rock. He's got, a weapon in his hand on the one hand, and he's got the other weapon in the other hand. Like, this is just, it's classic Games Workshop hero sculpt. So this is the alternate sculpt. This is what was shown on the back of the box. You can see here the WWE belt changes along with the tabard thing. You get the add-on bandolier of the bullets. There's also the teeth on the necklace. The whole arm is different. If you look underneath the arm on this one, there is this big scar that does not exist on the other arm. So his whole arm is going to swap in and out, just like the whole arm on the knob in the Monopose Boys kit. Hey, DeFloofs and Nashes, thank you so much for that. Much appreciated. Wag on. So yeah, so different head, different arm, different gun options. different bandoliers. Check out his boss pole on this one. You could see that flag some more. This boss pole has the like demon skull on it. So that's pretty rad. And then, yeah, you've got this awesome attack squig that totally is a callback to Gruck Face Rippa's original metal attack squig. He's pretty darn cool. I actually like his little teeny tiny T-Rex arms and his great big funky Slimer looking mouth. He is just cool. Really, really dig him. Now, one thing people have said, especially with the box as opposed to these photos, is that the hand holding the choppa looks a little small. Now, on the face, I will agree with that. It does look a little small. There's a couple of things I want to point out, though. First of all, this dude's on a 50 millimeter base. He is a chunky boy. All right. And that hand, although it looks small compared to him, is probably still bigger than all the other orc hands that are out there. Also, you notice his body is turned in a way, and his arm is in a way, and the axe is in a way that his hand is really kind of out like this. Now, even like you can look at me, and my hand looks kind of small up here compared to my head, versus if I have it here, right? So it's the same kind of thing. You're getting a little bit of depth of perception in there. So something to think about. The other thing is Games Workshop has honestly been going to smaller hands and smaller heads and smaller feet away from the heroic style sculpting that they had done for so long, because they are trying to make the minis look a little bit more realistic. But if you're super worried about his hand, I honestly wouldn't be. Let's wait till we get the model in hand. And not to mention, you got the power claw. Just take the power claw, right? Real CJ, thank you, my friend. Grot base 25 millimeter, half the width of Warboss. You are correct, sir. The Grot is on a 25, and that is half the width of the Warboss base. And speaking of the Grot, let's take another look at him because they give him another photo here. He's just, there's a little rocket in his backpack. You see the little rocket? Yeah, this is my new favorite Grot. Don't tell favorite Grot. This is my new favorite Grot. And yes, Dirt Hermit, you are completely correct. These two variants are not all the bits because Games Workshop continues. Yep, he has an attack squig on a chain and an ammo grot. And then it says there is also a selection of aesthetic accessories for things like buckles, knee pads, and ammo belts. There are actually even more choices than shown on these two builds, including alternate heads, plural, boss poles, and weapon gubbins. Now, here's the even better part, right? After all of this, right? I get the scoop. I spread it on the internet. We get Auspex Tactics to pick us up. We get Valrak to pick us up. While Valrak is live streaming, Games Workshop drops this and then is in his chat, right? On the bottom of this, war bosses rarely come alone. This might not be the only new orc on the way, so you will definitely want to check back on Monday. Let's go! I'm telling you guys, orcs are the antagonists in 11th edition. This totally confirms it. This is awesome. Yeah, we've got ourselves a multi-part war boss. Let's go! So, boys, that gets you caught up. That's where we're at. How cool is that? Right? Look at that chat going crazy. I love you guys. This is just, it's been a day. It's been a day. So Valrak was streaming. I couldn't get him to see me at all. Right. So I bought a channel membership. He still couldn't see me. I had to buy a super chat and be like, Valrak, this is my leak. My channel already scooped this video 2 hours ago, bud. You should go look at it. And he did. And he totally talked us up. And then he came over to the channel and was posting in our comment section. So, welcome, Chapter Master Valrak, to Dewa! We always knew you were an orc at heart. You found the right home. All right. So, guys, any questions you've got about the War Boss, any questions you've got about 11th edition, launch box, orcs, whatever, throw them in the chat. Let's keep going down this road. I know this is the only leak we've got so far, but trust me, I think it confirms so many more things, including the fact that this war boss is already out as a multi-part kit on his own. And I said not going to be in the launch box. That means the launch box does not have a war boss on foot in it. It just doesn't. Games Workshop is not going to double up that kit. So check that out. All right. Ognog Dog wants to know Monday predictions. That is a great question. Some of the things people have been saying is that this box is the same box art as the current box art, and ergo means that it's not 11th edition. Well, it couldn't be further from the truth. You see that box right there, that big yellow one? That's the Beast Snag Battle Force from 9th edition. That artwork is the same as the 10th artwork, which is the same as the 11th artwork. When they came out with the new Warhammer logo, that was that. They're going to keep with that logo. They're going to keep with that artwork going on. Games Workshop doesn't actually advertise new edition. The only reason we call it things like 3rd or 10th is because we don't know how to count, and Games Workshop doesn't. The only way you can really tell what they're doing is when they change the logo. And they had the classic logo for Rogue Trader in 2nd edition. They went to the the classic black and green logo in 3rd edition, and then in 9th that popped out with the line through it, and that's just going to keep being the logo. They're not changing the logo. They're not changing the packaging or anything like that, right? This is definitely an 11th edition kit. It is not an end of 10th edition kit. Now, what are they going to show off on Monday? Well, it's going to be something to go with the Warboss. I'm going to bet my teeth it's knobs. And here's why. In their article, they specifically said war bosses rarely come alone. Who do war bosses come with? They come with knobs, right? Knobs are who follow the war boss around because, on the off chance he gets wonked on the head, one of them gets to be war boss, right? So you're never going to find a war boss without some knobs somewhere close by, right? Whether or not he knows they're there, they're there. So I really think we're going to see knobs. Also, I think those knobs are going to be multi-pose because, again, this war boss is multi-pose. We need new multi-pose knobs who are going to be on 40 millimeter bases, not 32s. And that's what they're going to show off to go with this war boss who is on a 50 millimeter base. That also means there are no knobs in the launch box. The launch box is all push fit, single mono build models, and Games Workshop is not going to make the exact same units in the launch box as the regular army. Now, obviously they do that with beakies, right? Intercessors came out as push fit, and then they made full glue beakies. Intercessors, same thing with assault intercessors, stuff like that. Those are Space Marines. They don't count. Look at the antagonist side. All right. Everything that they've done that's been push fit on the antagonist side has stayed push fit. They don't make, there's not like a new winged Tyrannid Prime that's full glue. It's a completely different model, right? All those kind of things are going on. So we're not getting any knobs in the launch box, but I do think that Monday they are going to show us some new knobs. Now, what else you guys saying here? Seth Master was going to say Pain Boy. We're going to get a Pain Boy. I believe the Pain Boy is in the launch box. If you've looked at the launch boxes, especially Leviathan, and what was the one that came before it? Not Indominus, the one in between those two. Because it went Indominus, Leviathan. Dark Imperium was the one before that. If you look at Indominus and Leviathan, both boxes had multiple characters for both sides. Leviathan, especially, there was 4 or 5 Beaky characters and 4 Nid characters. Okay, so the same kind of thing is going to happen. They really want to load those characters out for everybody. So I totally see a new Pain Boy coming. First of all, Pain Boys don't have any optional equipment, so they've always been a monopose kit. No reason not to keep a monopose. Super easy. I also think we're going to see a Weird Boy because of it. Again, Weird Boys don't have any optional builds whatsoever. They've always been a monopose kit. You might as well make it. So you put a Weird Boy in there. You put a Pain Boy in there. There's 2 good characters for you on foot to run around and be characters on the battlefield, especially knowing that you're not getting a War Boss on foot. So what are you getting? Who's actually going to lead that Well, I don't know. This is pure conjecture. I am pulling this out of my red squig hat. All right. I'm gonna guess that it's a Warboss on a Warbike. And here's why. The 11th edition launch box and honestly 11th edition as a whole has been rumored to be very fast attack focused and very like hammer and anvil. Like there is going to be a fast attack portion of the army and then like a gunline portion of the army. And the whole idea is that the fast attacks run through each other to smash into the opposing line. So this is supposed to be like some big artillery piece for the orcs and things like that. Fast attack means bikes. Orcs really need new bikes. I love the bike kit. Don't get me wrong. I've got 18 of them built and painted in my army. Love the bikes. But let's be honest, that kit is really old. It's hard to build. It's a zillion billion pieces, and it's the old ecosystem with the badonkadonk butts, right? Games Workshop is getting away from that. The only things left are the Ludaburna kit and the bikes. All the other badonkadonks are gone, right? So we're getting new boys. The new Ludas and Burners are probably going to be a kill team. Bikes need to change. Well, what do bikes have for loadout? They don't really have anything, right? The data sheet lately has been like, well, you could choose a chopper or you could choose a slugga. Who's going to do that? They're orcs. They're going to bring both. Like the bikes can all have a slugga on their hip and a chop on their hip or a chop in their hand or whatever, and their DACA guns in the front, and that's it. The only thing that might actually really change is the knob. Sometimes you would put a power claw on your knob. Sometimes you'd give them a big choppa, and that is easy enough to do even in the push fit thing to make that one weapon choice option happen. So I totally see Orks getting a squad of bikes in the launch box. Not to mention, it's not out of the realm. We got Outriders for the Beakies in the Indominus launch box, right? It's rumored we might get scout bikes for the Beakies in this box. So that would be a great foil for each other. Scout bikes going up against these war bikers. So if you've got a squad of war bikers, there needs to be somebody to lead them. Having a war boss on a work bike makes a ton of sense. Now, I know some of you are probably going, well, good old Big Mac, back when we could make a war boss on a war bike, you could take all the different, pieces of war gear, what would you give him? And I'm, well, he's probably not going to be multi-pose, but that's okay. If they monopose out the orc on war bike, that's okay. And here's the thing. I could see them moving away from power claws on the bikes. They don't actually make a whole lot of sense. If you're flying through an enemy formation at a zillion miles an hour, you're going to want an axe way more than a claw, right? Plus, the Death Killer War Trike has the claw with the grappling hook thing, right? So you want to kind of keep it as its own thing. So war bikers with choppas, Knob with a big choppa, and the war boss with his big choppa on his war bike. That's my guess. Again, that's pure conjecture. I could be completely wrong about this. That's just what I think that is. So that's what I'm going. Let's see, 9-7 likes Def Copters better than bikes. Copters are better to kit bash. Let's see, what else you guys got here? It would also kind of mirror the Beast Boss on Squigosaur, right? Yeah, the Beast Boss on foot has a power claw. The Beast Boss on Squigosaur has the great big giant sword. Now, I know there's Mazrok Scragbad, who's the name character with his claw thing, but I mean, again, I really think that this is something they could do. It would make a lot of sense in the box. It would make a lot of sense, like sales wise. Down the line, they could, if they're not going to put a truck in the combat patrol, they've been putting in, a fast attack unit with 3, models. So throwing in, 3 bikes in there would make a lot of sense. But I mean, honestly, I see it being like a 5-man squad or something to that effect. Or them just leaving it out of the combat patrol entirely. And like that's one of the kits that comes out on their own later on, much in the way the Warboss and Mega Armor started off in the combat patrol and then, was spun off on his own. So, but yeah, we're not getting Coptas. The Coptas we have out now are from the combat patrol 2 combat patrols ago. They're brand new sculpts. They're really, really nice. The box sells well on its own. Games Workshop has zero need to redo those. And again, they're not going to put full glue kits in a launch box. So yeah, that is it. And yeah, and Protein Geek, I'm with you. They do need to do something to differentiate the bikers from the Squig Riders. The Squig Hog boys, right? They ride out there. You've got 3 of them plus the knob on the Smash a Squig. They've got those like rocket powered javelin things that are really really cool. But yeah, they're like anti-vehicle or anti monster, demon, whatever. So they're going to go hunt big stuff. What you need to do is you need to make bikers the anti-infantry, right? Bikers need to come through and throw out an absolute bucket of dice out of those DACA guns as they come in. And then once they get stuck in, it just needs to be choppa attacks like mad to take things down. So, if you're looking at a 20-man brick of Kriegers or something like that, some Cadian infantry, that's what the war bikers are for. And that gives them a completely different battlefield role than the Squig Hog boys. And I think that's just going to be really, really cool. All right. Nadaka wants to know, how many new orc units do I think we will get in the launch box? Let's see. Leviathan had like Termagants, and I want to say it was like 7 or 8 units were in the box. It might be easier to think about the beaky side, honestly. We got the Terminators, the Captain, the Librarian, the Apothecary dude. But also, we got the Lieutenant with the combi weapon. You got the Infernus Marine dudes. And I want to say there was one other. Oh, the Dreadnought, right? So that's 7 things on the beaky side in Leviathan. I really think they're going to stick to that kind of thing because they found that, especially for the launch box itself, the more plastic they can shove in it, the more excited everyone is about it, the more that it sells. So getting, 7 units. Plus, you got to remember, a couple of those are just like single characters. A couple of those are units of dudes, and then one was a vehicle. So my guess, and again, this is pure conjecture, I have no idea. Pure conjecture. My guess is you're going to see boys. However, they are not multi-part boys. We do have multi-part boys coming, but it's going to be Slugga boys and Shoota boys as 2 completely separate kits and units again, just like the old days. So you're going to have one of those units in there. I don't know which one, but one of those units, either Slugga boys or Shoota boys. I think you're going to get a new truck. That is the vehicle. We need a truck. The truck doesn't have any build out options anyway. If they made it a easy to build kit, they could keep the price down on it and sell a whole bunch of them. It would be really cool. Not to mention, it would help go into that new combat patrol style that I figured out, that we now have 5 combat patrols that match that, where you get a squad and a leader and an elite squad and a transport. So, hey, there's your boys, there's your truck, right? Throw in a leader and an elite squad, and your combat patrol is already set. So, truck, some boys, Gretchen. I really do see us getting Gretchen 2 in the launch box. Again, they don't have any options. You can easily monopose, monobuild them. They'd be just fine. I don't know how many we would get. I suspect more than 10, less than 20. I could see Orks going back to those weird squad sizes where they had like 12 or 16 of things. I could totally see that being a thing. So like 16 grots, 10 boys, a truck. Those would be kind of my 3 units. Again, Pain Boy and Weird Boy are definite, like, for like, this would make a lot of sense to be in the box. And then probably a runt herd, who, again, a runt herd is going to be a completely separate data sheet and a completely separate model than Gretchen. I don't think they're going to be in the same box anymore. Like, you're going to buy a runt herder who you don't have to take. Like, you could take grots on their own without a runt herd. I think that's going to be a thing. So, because we don't count great and they think they're getting 20 grots, nobody accused an orc of being an accountant. Okay, let's just see. All right. So, throw in the runt herd and then the bike squad, the Warboss on bike. That's 8 units. That's what I see coming in the launch box. That is my prediction. That's totally pulled out of my ears. All right, Dabbit Studio says, Beast Snaggers are Scar Boys, but we still don't have Ard Boys. That is a great point. That is definitely something I've considered, is Ard Boys coming back, especially if they do give us like 20 grots in there. I could see us getting, Ard Boys going to those smaller squad sizes, being like 6 or something like that. But I don't know. We'll see what's going on. I definitely think bigger squad sizes are coming back, though, because Games Workshop kind of messed around with the really small squads, with having 5-mans and 3-mans, and there was a lot of pushback about it. When the squad is beefy enough and cool enough, like Centurions were, people didn't mind, but then you started putting like 3 aggressors in, and it's just like 3 regular Space Marines with like double guns. Like they're not special enough model kits to be worth that price. And people like playing with lots of models. Again, the whole point of like Kill Team, Warcry, stuff like that is to play with individual models, right? When you play 40K, you want an army and you want your army to look like an army. You don't want here's one dude, here's one dude, here's one dude, here's one dude, here's a tank, here's a tank, here's a tank. That's boring. Nobody likes that as an army. We want to see a proper wah on the battlefield. I want to see big bricks of boys everywhere. I want to see a ton of grots. I want to see huge squads. I want knobs coming out the wazoo, right? That's what we want to see. So those are kind of the things that we're hoping to get. When the walk costs up an account, it will definitely be a bad moon. Either that or a death skull. Just saying. Just saying. So yeah, that's where we were. Do you boys want to see the shots of the box itself? Because I think that's really fun. Let's see. Oh man. Let's get this up here. Where is the? Give me a sec. Give me a sec. Pulling them up here. Actually, you know what? Let me go. Because again, we wanna protect our purple squig friend, because he wants to stay on the down low. He doesn't want anything to happen. So again, if you know anything about it, make sure that we keep that in house, right? For our purple squig friend. So let's do that. What if they bring back Quarks to take back Olinor? I keep hearing stuff like that. I like the Quarks; they're kind of cool, but we don't really need them, honestly. Um, we don't need them. I think that regular Orks are big enough and cool enough, and evolving enough that we don't have to. There we go. This is what I'm looking for. Bingo. Okay, we'll get the let's do this shared screen. That we don't need the quirks. Plus, honestly, a quirk at this point is pretty much going to be like as big as a Primarch or bigger than a Primarch. And yeah, yeah. Remember, if you know the purple squig, know you zog and don't. Leave purple squig alone. All right, let's get there. We want this screen. Give a second here to pop up. Come on now. Can we see it yet? Hopefully we can see it. Coming. Yeah, that's right. Ain't nobody heard of no purple squig. All right, good. It is popped up. I see it there. Okay. So here are the box picks. All right. So here is box numero uno. All right. So this is the front of the box. Again, obviously, this is not part of the launch box because, again, he is in his own box already and he is a multi-part model. The logo is the same, but again, the logo has been the same for 9th and 10th edition. The logo is not going to change. The box art has been the same for 9th and 10th edition. In fact, where's the old comment? Come on. Here's the old combat patrol. Look at it. That's the same artwork. That's the same thing. This is the old one. All right. So it's not changing. But 10th edition is the same, 11th edition is the same. All right. So there you go. There's your artwork. There's the first box. Now, this is where people are like, oh, that looks like Photoshop, yada, yada, yada. Well, here's the back of the box, my friend. How are you going to do the front and the back? Right? Right? Bug Zany says, hey, Big Mac, sorry if you already addressed it, but what do you think they're going to reveal on Monday? Knobs. I think they're going to reveal knobs. The Goth Rockers are on. Wow! Those are the guys that did our intro and outro music. They are true, legit metal band. You should totally check them out. Descriptions always linked in the pinned comments. Go check out the Goth Rockers at Dead Shooty Production. They are righteous. And he says a lot of purple grots when we need something fixed. Exactly. Exactly. All right. So here's the back of the box, right? And here's where, that hand really does look kind of wonky on the box just because of the angle that they have that photo. But yeah, we keep going. Hey, look, here's the side of the box. Who's gonna, who's, right? Like everyone's like, oh, it's AI. Oh, it's fake. You don't really have the box. Look at it. Absolutely hilarious that people didn't think this was real. There's the other side of the box with, again, that image from the front of the box perfectly, on there. This was my favorite photo of the whole thing, though. It's just the inside of the box, right? Look, it's a real box, right? And then there's the top, and again, all of the writing is correct. A French language person to tell us about the French. Used some Google Lens on the other writing. All the lighting. It's obvious that this is a real box. And yeah, these were the second and third. Here we go. These were the first images right here. These two were the ones that I broke with. These are the first two that the Purple Squig sent me. Was this one and this one. And yeah, they people just started kind of like they're looking down here at like the rip, they're looking up here at this, they go, well, it looks kind of fake, looks kind of AI. And I'm like, the little rip right here is literally a mirror image of the other one. Like, how are you not seeing this? Right. Yeah, Geese 9473 says, I recognize that hand. It looks like Zog and mine. I was the leaker all along. Really? Were you? Let's take a look at that hand again. That hand looks like it's got something on it, maybe to protect a broken wrist or something like that. Maybe the Purple Squig was a made-up story all along, and old Big Mac's had this in his grubby mitts all day. We'll never know. All right. We can stop playing around with that now. What Zagan language does Warboss translate to? Waboss? I love it, CJ. I love it. Hey, Defloofs and Ashes has subscribed to the Goth Rockers on YouTube Music. Very, very nice. You should absolutely do that. They are super rad. GW's Intel team analyzing the fiber pattern from that background. Well, I can help them out. It's my carpet. Come on up here to old Big Mac's headquarters. We got things to talk about. we got things to talk about. The dented rifle means no Photoshop. Oh, Protein Geek wants to know, so we might get a different push fit Warboss in the box alongside the new pull tie kit, or the Warboss in the box is a different type. Yeah, it's going to be a different type. I don't think we're going to get the same thing. Games Workshop, okay, again, this part is not conjecture. This part is correct because they talk about it in their annual report. So those of you that don't know what an annual report is, when a company is public like Games Workshop, they have to put out annual financial reports to their shareholders. These reports are public. Even if you're not a shareholder, you can go download it and read it, okay? But they have like a meeting that is live that if you are a shareholder, you can join and listen to the talking heads talk and watch the CEO, take a nibble of a box and spit it out like the McDonald's guy, right? But in these annual reports, they talk about boring business things. I happen to find boring business things very interesting, right? Games Workshop is so big that they don't even just do annual, they also do semi-annual, quarterly, things like that. Now, not everyone is a big deal. Some of them, it's just throughout the report. Some of them, it's a report with the live meeting. Some of them, it's a report with a live meeting or with a meeting that's filmed. Some of them, it's a report with a live meeting. But in their last few meetings, in their last few reports, they have talked at length at ways they can cut costs and ways they can improve efficiency. And one of the main ways that they have shown that they've got room for growth is to get rid of kits that are congruent. The boys kit is the perfect example of that. You have two identical kits. They both feature the same unit in the game, Ork Boys. They both have the same trade name, Ork Boys. If you go to your friendly local game store and you go, hey, can you order me a box of Ork Boys? They'll go, yeah, sure. But you don't know what you're going to get because they have different part numbers, because they have different guys in them, right? That confuses retail stockists and end users. And so what happens is somebody sees a picture online of the really cool monopose boys and they go, hey, get me a box of boys. And the retailer gets them in and they get the 11 old boys with the badonkadonk butts and they go, oh, that's not what I wanted. And then they have to send it back or they have to like replace it with another one, right? They're watching their profit go out the window trying to fix this. Or their retailer goes, hey, I'm out of this kit. Can you send me more? And Games Workshop sends the wrong one. And now they've got 4 boxes of monopose boys on their shelves instead of 2 monopose and 2 multipose. So that's part and parcel of why the boys are going to become Slugga boys and Shoota boys again, because those are 2 different trade names. So you're not going to get that confusion. They are 2 separate kits. Now, that is not the only kit Games Workshop has like this. There's been multiple kits that they've made in the past. Again, assault intercessors, regular intercessors, I think Hellblasters. There's been quite a few Beakies, but even other game systems have had, push fit ones and then had full done ones, especially Age of Sigmar with the Stormcast Eternal guys. Part of the Stormcast Eternals losing a whole bunch of kits was that redundancy. Most of the kits they got rid of were the push fit versions, right? So that's how we know for sure that we are not going to get the same unit in the box, the launch box, and as a multi-post kit, whether it's Ork or Beaky, we're not going to get the same. So if the Beakies have, like, they're rumored to get a jump pack chaplain, we are not also going to get then a multi-part jump pack chaplain. It's going to be one or the other. So that's why you see the characters that are in these launch boxes becoming characters that are mono build characters anyway. If there is no options for a pain boy anyway, he makes the perfect foil for it. If there is no options for a lieutenant, he makes a perfect foil for it, right? That's what they're doing. Hey, DeFloofs and Ashes, thank you so much. Yes, everyone, please be sure to like the video on YouTube, throw a comment, something like that. When we're done live streaming, it will be like posted up for you to go and rewatch. You could share it with a friend. All of those things help boost our channel. Obviously, we got a huge boost from Valrak mentioning us on his live stream today. Hopefully, when Valrak does his follow-up video on the actual War Boss, he throws another bone our way. Same thing with Aspect Tactics. That would be great. Bring a whole bunch of new people here to the WA, because that's always been our goal. We're here to have a ton of fun with Warhammer 40K, especially if you love a green skin. And if we're going to be the antagonist in 11th edition, which this confirms we are, it'd be great to get all of these new players and all of these returning players to come our way and, help spread the love and be part of the WA. And so we could do more kit bashing and more fun and all that kind of good stuff, right? Yes, Bar GW Lieutenant is definitely coming. We are getting a boss knob or a lieutenant. There was actually in a book, and I don't even know if it was Mike Brooks' book. It might have been a different book, but there was a Black Library book recently that had an orc lieutenant in it. And that is one of the rumors also of something that could be in the kit. And that could very well be one of the characters on foot. You could end up with a weird boy, a pain boy, and a boss knob, big boss, lieutenant, whatever you want to call him, somebody that sits in between the war boss and the knobs. Now, speaking of the war boss, speaking of him being on the 50 millimeter, in case you don't know, I have a prediction, and I think this prediction is starting to really bear fruit. In the lore, it has always been the bigger an orc is, the higher up the food chain he is, right? Boys, right? Knobs are bigger than boys. War bosses are bigger than knobs. We all know this. This is well-established lore fact, okay? But if you look at the tabletop, they were always kind of on the same base. And then even when the base sizes changed and the orcs went to 32s, which honestly was a godsend. I could not switch my orcs fast enough. They look so much better on 32s. But now your orcs, your knobs, everybody was on the same size base. Most of your characters were on a 40, if they were even on that. And that was kind of it. And then we got the Commandos box. In the Commandos box, the knob is significantly bigger than the boys. He was like the size of our current Warboss. And it was like, this is really interesting. But he was on the same size base as all the other boys because it was a kill team. And then we got the new kill team, the Rekka crew, right? Which has the Breaka boys and the tank buses in it. And what happened? That knob is still a proper unit, and now he's on a 40 millimeter base because Kill Team finally figured out how to do mixed base sizes. So now you've got a Grot on a 25, a boy on a 32, and a knob on a 40. Now we see a Warboss on a 50. That's going to be what happens. So even in like your regular boy squad, your shoot a boy squad, 32 millimeters for all the boys, and then the knob is going to be on a 40. Right? And then all the knobs that are following the Warboss around, they're all going to be on 40s, and the Warboss is going to be on a 50. That's going to be how it works. I've started to do this to my own personal army because even if Games Workshop doesn't, that's what I'm going to do. And putting your knob on a 40 with all your boys on 32s looks sick. It is so cool because you got this big old mob, and then you got the one bigger one, and he's got the boss pole, and he's on the bigger base. And it just has so much orky presence. I love it. Yeah. So super duper rad. Ork Lieutenant might be one of those options. He would still be on a 40 because he is still a knob. He is not a war boss, just like Pain Boy, Weird Boy, Whir Boy, Pain Boss. All those guys are going to be on 40s. War Boss and above is going to be on a 50. So like the new big mech, because that is like a mech boss. He's a 50. War Boss is a 50. If they do come out with a weird boss, which is highly rumored, he will be on a 50. And then obviously you got Gaz on the pipe league. All right, let's see. What else we got here, you guys? We've been going at this for an hour. Totally unscripted, unplanned. Just had to celebrate with you guys. Had to go over this. Super duper fun. Already threw the video out this morning, but yeah, let's have this celebration video. Super duper rad. I am stoked. I am so stoked for Orks. I am so stoked for 11th edition. I can't believe that the purple squig found this. Gork and or Mork dropped it from the sky. Our purple squig found it. I ripped it out of his slobbery mouth, and we broke the news, boys. We broke the news on 11th edition 40K. Orks is the antagonist, the first model to the whole honking internet today. How much fun was that? And you all were part of it. You all were part of it. You guys were in there talking on Aspects Tactics, getting him to recognize me, talking on Valrat, getting him to recognize me, helping protect Purple Squig. Awesome crew, you guys. Cannot say enough great things about all of you. Let's go. Let's go. So awesome. And yes, Barga, Uthak now has a legal base size. I can build my Uthak now. Video coming next week. Ah, absolutely awesome. All right, timer says we got less than 4 minutes left. If you guys got any last second questions, now is your chance. I will answer them in the next 4 minutes before we call it for the night. But man, what a day it has been. What an absolute day it has been. So much fun. Again, for those of you that tuned in late, missed it, don't know what's going on, a purple squig found a 11th edition 40K Ork Warboss box, sent me the photos. I broke it all over the internet. YouTube made my video, got it on Reddit, got it on Facebook. Everybody else picked it up. You got an Aspects Tactics video on it. And then Valrax started streaming. And in the middle, literally in the middle of Valrax live stream, right after he finally saw my comment and acknowledged me, Games Workshop threw it up on the community website, explaining that it got leaked, and so they were just gonna throw it up there, and confirmed it as legit. Valrax shouted us out. It was awesome to see. Super duper cool day. Yeah, so hopefully we'll get some more love coming our way from those bigger channels. Who knows if Games Workshop? I've checked my email. They haven't sent me anything yet. So apparently they're not too worried about my purple squig who's been eating sprues and letting me take slobbery boxes out of his mouth. Yes, Bugzady. Hopefully, this does bring more traction to the channel. You guys all know the channel was growing like crazy. October hit. We were breaking every metric we had in the thing, and then I broke my wrist, and it just nosedived. And we have been struggling since October to get back. We just kind of finally, within the last month, hit our stride again and kind of got back to where we were before, like right before our October started, or the very beginning of October. So yeah, Yo, Tuck Bobo, even Mordian was shouting me out. Let's go. That's awesome. I like Mordian Glory. I've been following him, as a guard player for years. That's pretty rad. I love his new beef with Valrak. So yeah, maybe we get this whole three-way thing going with Mordian, Valrak, and us. Yeah, GW. Who does Purple Squig? He's right there. Here's the. You guys want to meet the Purple Squig? The camera so you could see it. We don't want to just. That's the one that found the box. He ate the sprue, and then I ripped the box from his mouth. That's the squig. So if you want to know who did it, that's who did it. And if you want to get him, you got to get through me. And if you get through me, then you got to get through him. He's kind of mean sometimes. Oh, Azamak wants to know, will the box be MTO from the start or repeated Indomitus? It's going to be like Leviathan. For those of you that weren't around for the Leviathan launch, Games Workshop knew that they messed up Indomitus. So Indomitus launched, they didn't make enough, it sold out, but also it was 2020. That's when Games Workshop started going meteoric, but they never really reprinted it. Then they made Dominion, and they thought they were going to like catch lightning in a bottle twice. But Dominion had two problems. One, it was Age of Sigmar, which, for better or for worse, just is not as popular as 40K. Two, let's be honest, the Cruel Boys were awful. They were terrible sculpts, terrible looking. They just didn't have anything for them. So everybody was only buying the box for half of it. So they way overproduced Dominion and it just flopped. I mean, to this day, you can find multiple copies of it new in the wrapper in stores, and it's a whole nother edition of Age of Sigmar. For the longest time, you could get the whole box for less than $100 brand new on eBay shipped. I know because I bought one. We tried to convert all the Cruel Boys. We could only convert like two of them. We threw the rest out, and I gave one of the Grots the Stormcast, and she built it and painted it, right? But when they did Leviathan, what they did was it was a timed release. So each time zone got a release to like go on the website and order, to go to their store and pre-order it and get a guaranteed delivery. And that timed release kept moving time zone by time zone by time zone. So when your time zone hit, you had an opportunity for just your time zone at a normal time of day to kind of put in your order and get your thing. When all of that was said and done, Games Workshop still had stock left over, and so it was like up on their website for a little bit. And some of the stockists were told like they were going to get more, and you could still kind of get them. It did sell out. Leviathan did sell out within a couple of days, I want to say, but Leviathan sold out. Games Workshop then did a second run of Leviathan, including a made to order. So if you like even missed out on the staggered start time ordering, the pre-order from your friendly local game store, the pre-order from your Warhammer store, it didn't matter. If you managed to miss all of that, you still got another chance to get Leviathan at regular retail, no problems. So there was even a hot minute there that you could get a Leviathan box for a little bit less than retail. I almost picked up a second one, honestly, just because it was like, oh, hey, this is kind of fun. And like, yeah, Grot stole half my Space Marines. If I want all of them, maybe I should get a second box. It's going to be like that. We are going to get Armageddon box, time zone by time zone by time zone, to get everybody a fair shot at getting it. They're going to make a ton of them. All the friendly local game stores that have that guaranteed stock that they have to put on the shelf are going to get those. And then they're probably going to do, that second run made to order so that everybody has it. Remember, don't feel the FOMO. If you don't get the actual launch box, you're still not missing out, because most of the stuff in the launch box will be reused in the actual starter sets that are not limited. That you have the recruit edition and the regular one and the ultimate starter set, right? That's been like their thing they've done for the last 3 editions. Those will be updated to be the Space Marines versus Orks and will be available throughout the entirety of 11th edition and will have super steep discounts on them. So even if you don't get everything in the launch box, you'll still be able to get those starter boxes all the time, no problem. And those starter boxes do come with a full rule book. The Recruit Edition usually has like the little one that's like just the basics, but the regular and the Ultimate both come with the full size rule book. That's always been how you can get the rule book. So if you miss Armageddon and you miss Armageddon again, don't get discouraged. Just go buy a regular starter set. Yeah, you're probably going to be missing a couple of the characters, maybe a squad or two. But I'm telling you, the vast majority of it, like you could go buy the ultimate starter set right now that was made up of the Leviathan box. It has all the Terminators in it. It has the Terminator Captain in it. It has the Flamer dudes in it. Like I think it's missing the Dreadnought, the Lieutenant, the Apothecary, and then the two big Tyranid guys. So, I mean, it's missing a couple, but still you're getting the vast majority of them and for a really, really, really great price. Or yeah, buy both. That's what I'm going to be doing. I mean, come on, let's be honest. Uh yes, Tugbobo is right. They do the time zone availability for Badrock and the ammo grounds. That's what they've been doing for all the made to order stuff and all of the pre-order stuff. The battle forces were like that. The new combat patrols were like that. Games Workshop, credit where credit is due. Games Workshop has made huge strides on stopping scalpers and really cutting down on FOMO. They're really communicating what's coming out, when it's coming out. They're making, staggered start times so that everybody can get it. They're doing a lot of made to order stuff. They're really trying to cut out those scalpers. Yeah, Games Workshop's prices themselves are still really high. So is everything else. We're in World War III. I'm sorry, it sucks, but it is what it is. At least they're trying to cut out that middleman and that scalper so that you're not paying some rando on eBay $200 over retail to get a box because you couldn't get it directly from Games Workshop. So, credit where credit is due there. Pretty Geek says Combo Lieutenant and Judiciar are insane to get now. No, they're not. No, they're not. Go to Barnes & Noble and buy yourself the Dawn of War set. Judiciar's in it. I got that set for less than 20, or no, it was less than, I want to say it was like $34 shipped from Barnes & Noble. I bought it for Bescarat. He already built it. It's got the Judiciar. It's got the crazy Lieutenant. It's got 3 Blade Guard veteran dudes and 3 something aggressors, something like that. He loves it. It's less than the cost of one character. But yeah, Barnes & Noble had it. Target had it. And they did multiple runs of it because we didn't get it on the first run before Christmas. We got it on the second run. And then I think there was a third run after that. So there is ways for things to get out there. Sometimes you just got to be patient. All right, guys, I've been talking for an hour. My throat's killing me from wogging all day long about this. It's been super duper duper fun. This day has just been amazing. I can't say enough cool things about it and about all of you guys for supporting it. Remember, if you know the purple squig, you don't know the purple squig. Also, he's sleeping on the chair. That's the purple squig. So if any of that's been spread around, please do your best to help that out because purple squig wants to stay on the DL, which we want to because maybe purple squig might sniff something else out. You know what I mean? Right? Let's keep that in mind, right? Let's be a little cunning here. So, all right, guys, that's going to do it for our surprise Friday night stream on our super surprise day for 11th edition. Again, super rad. Super thanks to all of you. We'll catch you in the next one. And until then, walk on!